Hello and welcome to Web of Light. I'm Dr. Kevin.
And I'm Angie Donahue.
And this is our show that is going to be about the time of Virgo. And we'll have on in just a few minutes our Web of Light astrologer, Dorothy Morgan. It's also known as New Hampshire astrology. But you know what? You may not be able to take the country out of this girl, but we're going to take this girl across the country because that's what she deserves. Don't you think, Angie?
That's right.
Now, we've got some stuff coming up, which actually falls into the time of Libra.
Yes.
But the whole Virgo run-up is the run-up to what?
Our wonderful expo, our Web of Light expo that's going to be at the Seacoast. We've been planning this out. It's our fall event.
Yeah, so this one's going to be in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Now, I know that this show currently is actually being aired from Maine to California. So some of you may go, Portsmouth, New Hampshire? I've never heard of it. Portsmouth, New Hampshire is probably one of the hippest, most funnest places to go in New England. Everybody always goes, I love going to Portsmouth. How often have you heard that?
Oh, all the time.
Yep, I love going to Portsmouth. It's a great little city. It's right on the coast of New Hampshire, Maine. But we're going to be having the Web of Light Expo. We're going to have it at Great Bay Community College. We're taking over their whole student center.
Yes, we are.
So we're on pace right now for about 110 vendors.
110 vendors. We're actually going to have, about 20 presentations.
About
It's a two-day expo.
Yep, September 30th, October 1st.
Yeah.
So we're going to have people talking on any variety of alternative health, wellness, well-being that's going to be happening in the Portsmouth area.
I believe we're at 15 psychics.
Yeah, we're going to have 15 intuitives doing work.
Yeah.
Our lovely Dorothy Morgan, our Web of Light astrologer, will be there offering her unique insight into your astrological chart. We also have Shaman's Dream.
Shaman's Dream is,
our silver sponsor. And
they're coming with all their beautiful crystals and other beautiful pieces from the metaphysical world.
Yeah, well, Elizabeth was actually, it was almost it was maybe, wasn't quite a year ago. Maybe it was that Elizabeth was on our show talking about crystal healing.
She was,
crystals.
yeah.
It was back
and I wasn't there.
Yeah, you were playing Mrs. Partridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were out running around in Ohio, which you just have to know that her son has moved 3 times total in 12 months. His job keeps on going, oops, we relocated you to the wrong position, the wrong place. So he's been in Ohio, he's been in Kentucky, now he's in Philadelphia.
Yeah. But he's happy there.
He's happy there.
It's closer to his buddies, it's closer to us. It's not as long a drive.
So anyways, and our gold sponsor is the Reese Thomas Institute again.
Yes.
So we're happy to have Reese come back and join us.
Come on with those beautiful people that do that nice healing with everybody and the sound bowls and.
Absolutely, he'll be there playing sound bowls again. An experience you want to get. And if you did not see the Reese Thomas interview, you can still go to the Web of Light archives. Go to our YouTube channel, put in YouTube Web of Light, Dr. Kevin and Angie, and you will come up to all of our shows. We have now, I think they were saying, we've put out, I think, close to 75 to 80 shows now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. We're for our particular access channel here in Hudson, New Hampshire. I heard we're on the top 1 or 2 of the most shows that they've produced. And then you throw in, I've got Dragons.
They just can't get rid of us.
Well, and you've got Awakening Moments.
I started Awakening Moments a few months ago back, Yep. It comes on once a week.
Yep. And I have
then you have the Dragons,
Dragons, Unicorns, and Other Creative Creatures to highlight and support people that are out there changing the world through their arts.
People who, are interested, check in with us. Kevin's always looking for new artists. Musicians, dancers, whatever your creative, artistic piece is. And I myself, I'm always looking for nonprofits. Anyone, even a small nonprofit, that's even better with me. Or somebody that you might know that is really helpful and being a great benefit to our communities. I love to bring them on and display them on this community TV. I also love to entice people to help volunteer at some of these places, or if they actually qualify for the help, to know that they can.
So we've got some exciting things coming up. Join us September 30th, October 1st at the Great Bay Community College in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, where you're going to be seeing the Web of Light Fall event. And so we have the April event in Nashua, New Hampshire, Earth Day, sometime right around Earth Day. Again, in 2018, it will be Earth Day weekend. And then we're going to have the fall event around the same time in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We look forward to seeing you guys there, checking things out. And now we're going to see about Miss Dorothy,
Miss Dorothy, what she has in store.
So we are now into the time of Virgos.
Virgo, indeed.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, so I got a question. I'm going to start this right out because I have heard this for years and years and years and years and years. Okay? Oh, she cringes.
I get to dispel a myth.
Okay. And that, that Virgo is a sign of service, right?
Yes.
Service to the world.
Yes.
And it's a great sign for nurses and prostitutes.
I know the nurses. I've never heard the prostitute part.
I've always heard that because it's the running joke because it's Virgo the Virgin is the thing. But that it used to be said, and I'm serious here, guys. I'm not making this up. That both cases. Now, I'm not saying nurses are prostitutes. I did not say that. But nurses are one kind of service, prostitutes to the other, and that Virgos do well both. So, thoughts on that?
No, they're not clean. Well, it's, Virgo has a lot to do with cleanliness and being very particular.
Yes.
So that's good if you're in the latter profession. How's that?
That's really good if you're in both professions.
That's really good if you're in both professions.
Yeah.
I was only thinking in one way.
Yeah, no, that's really good for both professions.
That is very good for both professions. That's true, because Virgo is all about, really maintaining. It's our daily health and wellness, cleanliness, service to others. It's focusing on the details. What do we do every day? It's our work. Not necessarily what we're known for as career, but it's our work. It can be our career, but it's the duty of getting in the car, going to your job. It's your co-workers. Now it's looking more and more like our pets. Well, actually, it is the area of pets. Pets are becoming children to some, so it might be in the Leo area, the fifth house, but still pets are in charge in Virgo. So it's all of these things that we do every day. So we enter Virgo when the sun moves into that piece of the zodiac, and that's on August 22nd. It's at 6:20 in the afternoon. And so we shift out of all the Leo. So if you haven't seen the Leo episode, you can watch that too, because there was a lot of energizing energy and eclipses. And the sun enters Virgo the day after a big eclipse that we had on August 21st. And so all of a sudden, it's like me, the sun is like Leo, and it's like me, focus on details. Are you kidding me? How am I supposed to do that? So it was going to take a little time for us to get into habit and pattern. What happens this time of year in most places in the United States, we're not back to school. We're preparing to get back to school, especially parents, getting the kids ready, right? So we've got to get back to routines that kind of fell to the wayside in August when we were out playing and having fun and being passionate. And now it's good to get back to routine and to patterns and double checking that we have our health and our wellness under control, managing that.
Because Virgo is also considered as one of the health signs.
It
really.
is.
Yeah. And now,
Yes.
so you're beginning to move into the time of harvest.
Yep.
And of course, in August, at the beginning of August, yeah, you got to do some stuff, but usually the sun and the rain take care of a lot of what you need to harvest.
Yeah.
You know, you get ready because you know when it's time for harvest, there is all that detail and all that hard work.
Yes.
And Virgos are known, somebody with a lot of Virgo energy is known usually to be a hard worker.
Yep. Oh my God, yeah. They're just, the attention to detail is phenomenal. I'm looking in my ephemeris for when the full moon is. Yeah, the attention to detail is pretty intense when it comes to Virgo. You know, some of the work that people who are Virgo is, like you said, nurses and professional women, and accounting, bookkeeping, you know, where we have to pay attention to the details.
Michelle's a Virgo, and she does the graphic arts.
Michelle's her daughter.
Okay, yeah, that's important. That's a good thing for them. I mean, that works out really well.
Now, I just want to make an observation to you, Angie. You notice that when she was here at the time of Leo, she had big, bright jewelry on. Her hair was all fluffed out like a mane.
Oh, that's right.
Now she comes back in, and it's time for Virgo, and it's back in the school marm bun. And it's it's cleaner line,
it's actually,
less jewelry.
I'm nothing against it. It's a very nice outfit. It's very pretty. But when you were talking about the nurse line,
yeah,
all I could think of when you were talking about this is, and you have to be an older person, but that used to be the uniform, the blue and white for
no
the
way.
nurses.
I did not think of any of those things. I didn't. See, that's how astrology is so natural sometimes.
Do you remember those days when they had the blue and the white?
They did.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm amazing.
Just say.
I'm amazing. I'm in living astrology. It's everything to me. I take a couple days off, and it's impossible. I have to do something. Everything's astrology. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of the hair. I swear to God, I did not even, because Leo is known for the mane and a lot of hair. And
you were all maned out.
I was like, I had to have my hair down.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
I forgot.
And now you look like you're ready to teach on the first day of school.
I am. Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to listen? I can get too serious sometimes, so I have to smile. I have to remember to smile. And you know why we're serious? So health, wellness, our diets, changing our routines back. Actually, we don't have to change our routines. We typically have to get a routine back. Habits, our coworkers, all of these things are the things that we need to be paying attention to. So that's what Virgo is. So now we'll get into some other details of what's going on while we are naturally, this was a proof of natural. I did not plan this, but it's so appropriate. But this is a natural way to use things. We don't have to force these things to happen. If you don't remember, you don't remember. Don't be overly worried about all the details. But Virgo wants you to pay attention to all the details. It's like a tug of war. Who's going to win? The details or everything else? But, you know, and there are times, if you talk to some people that are Virgo, and if somebody has their moon in the sign of Virgo, because all the planets are in a zodiac sign, it's not just the sun, they might be messy because they still know where everything is, but the mess is the complete opposite of the perfectionism of Virgo. So some people who have strong Virgo in their charts, traditionally we think of perfection in details. It's not. It can also be that messy thing. So, but you know where everything is.
Well, you know, somebody with a moon in Virgo might very well be organized chaos.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a person that's really messy, but they still know where everything is.
Yeah.
I must have that.
I don't know where your moon is. We never got around to actually peeking.
It's in Gemini.
Is it?
I looked at it this morning. You have a balsamic moon, and your moon's in Gemini. It's behind the sun. So, but there's other things.
Bring you some vinegar to go with that.
Yes, I know. It's good stuff. So August 25th. So just a couple days after the sun enters Virgo, Saturn finally moves direct. It's been retrograde since April 6th. And it finally starts to move direct. So what happens with this is we have these opportunities. Saturn can work well with Virgo, even though it will, because Saturn is Earth, Virgo's Earth. And so our beliefs, can start to finally, we can finally shift into something that is solid and structured. You know, we had an awful lot of excitement and energy and maybe chaos in Leo. Maybe, we'll see. But the Virgo and then this Saturn stationary moving direct will help us to start to put the big pieces back into place. And Virgo wants to put the little pieces into place, but Saturn moving direct is more about putting the big pieces in place first. So what's your foundation? What's your structure? And as Saturn's in Sagittarius, and this is its last phase. It's about to leave Sagittarius now. It'll be done in November, somewhere around there. And we're finally able to restructure our beliefs and what is the strength. You know, what has fallen apart over the last few months. We now see what's left, and we're able to start to build on that. So that's the Saturn moving direct, and that's the time of Virgo, just kind of encompassing it all. So it's the ending words in the beginning. So you see what I'm saying, and we'll pick it apart a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, you finally decide what's important and what the foundational needs to be. And then I had this image of this little Virgo image of somebody coming in and just putting, you know, like entering all the data and putting all the stuff in blah, 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 blah. And of course, my image includes a broom because they go and they clean it up and make it work and get it functioning.
Yeah.
And in some ways, you know, we're going to see this happen in our country.
Yes.
We'll see it happen in our society. We'll see it happen in the world. But, you know, also in our own life, you know, this is going to be a time when things that have been a part of our foundation for a long time will have their dying, gasping breath.
Yeah. Yes.
And they'll be gone. And we're just going to be, you know, and I'm going to tell you, I've already started seeing a little bit of that coming.
Yeah, we will.
Around my wedding.
Yeah.
When I don't know about you guys, but when I grew up, when you told somebody a year in advance, 9 months in advance, that you were getting married, that was considered part of the family unit.
Yeah.
You know, okay, I'm taking that day off. You go to the family weddings. That's what you do. I have never in my life had so many people go, well, when it gets close, I'll see if I have the day off. I'm like, these are like first cousins.
Wow.
These are not, you know, these are people like, I went to all their weddings. You know, I know I'm a little older than they were when they got married. They got married in their 20s. Some of them I went to second weddings at. But, you know, but it just amazes me that I'm seeing my foundation shift about family.
Wow.
A family foundational thing.
Yeah.
And as a Cancer, that's big stuff.
It is big stuff. Your family should be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, your family should be there. So with Sagittarius moving direct, I mean, those are the things that we get to look at. So a lot of wisdom involved with Saturn, too. So as he retraces his steps through the coming months, you know, through, you know, the September and October, and he gets out of where he went retrograde, we definitely need to remember, you know, we get to look at what we've learned. And so that word is wisdom. We get to obtain the wisdom of what's been going on since April when Saturn went retrograde. And again, like all the outer planets, they're always retrograde every single year. So it's not a unique experience. It's just when they station to go either retrograde or direct, especially the bigger ones, the outer further planets, that is the period that creates non-movement. And when things don't move, it's like sitting still for too long. You know, when we get up out of these chairs, we're all like a little slower, a little stiffer, got to move a little bit to get things going. So this is what happens when the planets are stationary before they go a different direction. So we're able to create, step up, move a little slow. We'll see what's left of the structure. You know, it's like when you were talking about that example, my example when I see the Saturn to the Virgo, these TV shows, my mom loves to watch when they, you know, those twin boys go, talking about Gemini, those twin boys go into a house and they rip it apart and then you get to see the structure. You know, you see just the 2x4s that are left. That's Saturn. And then they put it all back together. What Virgo is the interior designer that comes in and does the staging. or the person that comes in and does the staging. That's the Virgo piece. So that's Saturn and Virgo all together. So that's what we get. It's what we're doing now in the month of Virgo for ourselves. So those are some of the serious things that are going on. But next, Venus. On August 26th, Venus leaves Cancer and moves into Leo. So my idea is she changes her outfit from mom and, tired slippers and bathrobe into something wild.
Now, wait
Wow.
a second.
Come on. Hey, it's a transit. Stop it. It's in your 8th house. That gives you a different flavor, okay?
Yeah, well,
We'll just leave that alone. Leo, Venus in Leo is very flamboyant. It's like the woman with, a person. We just say a person with a boa, and just dancing and just having fun. It's very flirtatious. It's, I can't think of the word. I'm lost for the word. Help me out. What's the word?
sensual,
That too.
flirtatious.
Flirtatious, yeah.
All I can think of is,
Yeah.
and of course you know me, I bring everything back to a Broadway musical.
Yes.
Right? So
Hello,
all I can
Dolly.
think.
It reminds me of Hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly. Yep. Especially, but there's the song out of Follies, which is "Through good times and bad times, I'm still here,"
Yeah.
and that's that kind of, because when you say that transition from the more motherly Venus energy, the more nurturing energy, to or there you go, Rose's turn out of Gypsy.
Okay.
It's my time. It's my time. It's my time.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, because now Venus, what I value, is finally stepped into Leo, and it will help to remember the Leo things that we went through during that Leo time. So, the July to August, and it helps us. It'll when Venus moves through that, it takes about 3.5 weeks to move through that. It will give us that opportunity to see what we picked up, what we decided was valuable to us, what we decided our passions were, and it helps us to take the things that are going to stick, so to speak, further forward. And the things that we end up like, I tried that, I don't care for it, letting it go. So this is where we're going to be able to light that passion a little further, even though it's just the Virgo time of year. All right, so.
Hey, you know what we should do?
What?
I'm not throwing out something creative. I'm going to let you go back on. But after, you and I should get together and do a day-long class, and I will match up the planets and the signs, and we'll make a group of them with the Broadway divas and songs that would best describe them. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I can bring Broadway.
Okay.
You bring so what do you think?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Go ahead.
That'd be good to
just
figure
kinda
out.
popped up
It'd
in
be
my
fun.
I think that's fun. Here's another thing. On September 2nd, Mars is in Leo, right? Because we already knew that. But it's making a connection to the planet Uranus. And it's a trine aspect, so this is easy. This is better than the square we had a month ago. And so it helps us to break into song and dance. Here you go. We can break into song and dance or whatever. The Uranian energy is, again, it's all about breaking away, because it's in Aries, breaking away from what's traditional and stepping into new energy and just, breaking new ground. It's important for us to be able to do that. But at this point, Mars is exactly where the eclipse was on August 21st. So this is just, I tell you, everything, again, web of light, right? Everything is a web, and everything is connected. You can't touch one piece of that web without the vibration going somewhere else as well. That's why the spider is pretty amazing. So, that in that creation. So we just need to know that even though the eclipse is over on August 21st, it does set things into motion, and we immediately have activities and planetary movement that will help us to remember what was going on at the eclipse period. So we can really step into things. So whatever you've got planned in these time periods, there's going to be a lot of movement and a lot of excitement.
So the Mars again is going to be, what day is that? It's going to be on the
September 2nd.
Okay, so, which I don't know if that's around Labor Day weekend or not, but
It is. I have Labor Day. Labor Day is September 4th.
4th.
So September 2nd is the weekend of Labor Day, yeah.
Yes, the weekend Labor Day. And so think about it when you have an earthquake and then you have an aftershock,
Yeah,
because that's going to be the aftershock.
yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
And when Uranus is involved, actually Uranus, in most cases, I mean not 100%, because the environment is the environment, but most cases Uranus is involved when there's earthquakes. So it is about the aftershock, just like you were saying. That's an absolutely important piece, because I don't want to get into the science of it, but that's the piece of the weather astrology. And Uranus is all about the sudden shifts and changes. So it does rule earthquakes, thunder and lightning too. So just think of that energetically in your life. And again, how centered are you? Because we can always be that calm in the storm. I'll say that a bunch of times, and because it's important that we don't react to what's going on around us. Responding is fine. Again, that's where detachment comes in, where you can see what's going on. So these things will be very energetic. Any projects and things that you're working on too, because we're always talking about playing and having fun and being passionate. But if you're passionate about your work and you love what you do, these are great opportunities to really move things forward, especially like your event. You guys will be, maybe not exactly that weekend, but you'll be bustling with all kinds of last minute details, even though it's still almost a month away from your event. It's good energy to have when you're really planning something big.
Yes.
Yeah. The next day, just the very next day, Mercury moves pretty quick nowadays, but, or is he retrograde? No, he's retrograde and he's slow. You have to erase that piece. September 3rd, Mercury joins Mars. So Mercury and Mars are conjunct. So Mercury comes in with Mars and aspects Uranus as well. And so this is conversations on fire. So anywhere from like September 1st to September 5th, I would say, we have people just talking. People are talking so much because of the Leo energy and the Uranus energy. They're talking over each other. There's just miscommunication just because people are talking too fast. Things are going absolutely crazy. Too much going on. So if it's a good weekend to try and take off.
Yeah.
It might be nice and warm. A nice way to end the official holiday summer season, which I didn't want to talk about. I want to stay in summer forever. I just want summer forever. And I want to move to Florida in the winter or somewhere warm in the winter. That's just me.
Yeah.
All right, so on September 5th, Mercury goes direct. So it's going to take 2 weeks to get back to its original starting point. So we really just need to allow things, while we have all this energy that goes really fast and high speed, we also have this energy that we need to slow down, take our time, allow things to sort of fall into place, take action where you can take action, but allow things to fall into place. All right?
So the Mercury goes direct after it does the conjunction with Mars and the trine.
Yeah.
So basically, remember, you're going to be thinking very fast. You're going to have a lot of strong feelings. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to show up. There's a lot of stuff in your head. Wait until Mercury goes retrograde before you...
Goes direct.
Goes direct. Wait till Mercury goes direct before you try to do any implementation.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it will stay with Mercury Mercury, we're getting confused, aren't we? Mercury will stay with Mars for a few days because it's only going to here. It matches Mars and it sits still for a little bit, and Mars is slower than Mercury, so they'll be together for a few days, which is not typical. Mercury is just like Duck, Duck, Goose, or, one of those games. It's like tag, you're it, and that's it, and it's off. So it's quick. Not when it stops. That's when Mercury is important. That's when the retrograde of Mercury is important, is the day it stops. I have a video on that on my YouTube channel, the explanation of Mercury retrograde and when to really pay attention. It's an educational video.
So it's actually hanging out with Mars in an energetic orb for probably or 5 days.
About 4 or 5 days. I can
That there's going
actually
to be,
look.
and so that is major, and that whole time it's going to be trining Uranus.
Yeah, because, and this isn't typical. It's not typical at all because, yeah, they'll be neck and neck. They won't. They will be, because Mars is still moving. They will be neck and neck for actually 3 weeks.
And what dates are those? Like the
the end of August into the 3rd week of September. They'll be neck and they'll be within that 10-degree orb. And usually, again, Mercury moves so fast that they don't stick together more than a day or two. And so they're going to be weeks together just because Mercury's stationary. Mars doesn't move that fast. And so lots of dynamic conversation. Lots of conversation. It's really going to feel energetic. All right, what's next?
And some things are going to be heard.
How so?
Well, one of the things that came to me as I was listening to you talk about it was, as Mercury does this, does this game of tag, not only with Mars, but with Uranus, that there's going to be some unpredictability in that communication. Unexpected things are going to come out. And so a loved one, a boss, a good friend, even you could be on the media, on a TV, suddenly something's going to drop like a bombshell, and it's going to seem almost as if no one even reacted to it, and then they're going to go back, and the bombshell is going to hit again.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, now here's the rest of the story. For those of you who remember Paul Harvey.
Yeah.
Here's the story. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, and here's the rest of the story as Mercury goes back by.
Here we are. Yeah, and I was just looking while you're talking. I'm looking at the numbers in my ephemeris. So while on that date I just gave you, September 4th, Mercury and Mars are in conjunct at the end of Leo, where the eclipse was. September 16, Mercury and Mars are conjunct again because, one stops. It's just the movement, right? And then they finally catch up again. It takes that long, but they're all within, they're not that far away. They're still in the same line. They're just a couple of places away, and that's it. So they come again on September 16th. So I didn't have that in my notes, and I need to write that down. So it's a good thing.
So we have earthquake, we have aftershock, then we get tsunami.
Oh, yeah.
Well, am I right?
But only energetically.
Only energetic.
We're not predicting all of those things to happen in the world.
Well, but they could also.
Of course they could.
Yeah.
Earthquakes happen every day.
Yeah.
So that's not unique. But it's unique when it hits populated areas or it's not under the ocean. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go now.
No, that's cool. It helps us to put it into like real stuff. Real time, how does that really work, right? So September 6th, full moon in Pisces. It's at 3 in the morning on the east coast of the United States. This can help us to maybe integrate some of these things because Pisces is collecting everything and bringing, it understands all of the zodiac signs, so it's that collective consciousness. And I mean, we have a full moon in Pisces every year. That's nothing new. But it's okay because of all the things that we've had going on now. So we have an opportunity we paid attention to the details. And now we're like, all right, so how can I bring this into what is the greater good for all? Or what is the greater good for me? Or what does it really mean to me on a spiritual level? Why have I been doing all of this work? So there's multiple ways we can use this. It depends on where you are in your life. But how am I going to put all of this together into one piece or make it all just sort of equal, right? That's that Pisces energy.
Yeah, and I would also think that with some of this, it's going to be a time in which people might recover memories or things that they've kept emotionally under the surface are going to rise up like a high tide.
That's the moon in Pisces. It's very soft. It's mutable, so it's water. Water and mutable, so it's very sensitive. And the opposite piece of it, the Virgo, is about paying attention to the details. So we're, like you're saying, and I'm saying too, we're needing to integrate just into our collective or into just who we are, into the soul, all of these details that we've been focusing on so far. It's important to bring all that together.
So there'll be some emotional epiphanies, and there'll be some stuff coming up.
Yeah.
And people will be having some, now I know why that bothers me.
Yes. That's perfect.
Yeah. Now I know why. It's been bothering me, and I got to the point that I could accept it bothered me, but now I know why it bothered me.
People just need to know why. So many answers. So many people could just feel so much better if they knew why about something. You know, we all have that somewhere in our lives. So we also have the moon. It's actually conjunct Neptune on that day as well.
Oh my.
I know. And
well,
Neptune,
that's going to give it a kick.
It's going to give it a big kick. And the reason Kevin's saying oh my is because Neptune is the planet in charge of Pisces. And it's actually in Pisces, and the moon's right there too. And so it's all this water. So it's an overload of water. This is a day, it might actually be rainy that weekend. You know, sometimes the weather is associated with the moon, other factors too, but this is a wet Labor Day weekend.
This is again Labor Day weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. No, full moon on the 6th. No,
so it's right after the weekend.
It's right after the weekend.
It's like beautiful Labor Day weekend,
Yes.
and then we're going to go into a full...
It could be. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, I would think, now you tell me that Neptune is there, because I kept on wanting to say, because I don't look at these things ahead of time. I don't go into the ephemeris and look and see what's coming up. I just respond to whatever Dorothy's saying as she's saying it. But I wanted to say before, be careful with this full moon for some coastal flooding. I kept on feeling like that. And now you tell me Neptune's going to be there. This is definitely a time where we could see, well, I wonder if we're going to have some hurricane activity. Yeah.
I can answer you, but not right now. I would look it up because there are certain prerequisites astrologically where the planets are and what's going on for hurricanes. So I'll take a look. I can see that. I mean, I don't have the capacity to do that right now, but I'll look it up. So, but what I do know, here I am with all my pens. What I do know is emotionally we can be feeling that way. So we're talking about a lot of water, or maybe flooding on the seacoast, or maybe hurricane. Well, the water is also a representation of our emotions and our spiritual life, and faith and intuition and the things that we just know. So how do you want to use that? Pick up a new practice. We're in Virgo. It's time to figure out to have a new habit. Start meditating. Start doing yoga. Yoga is the perfect energy for Virgo and Pisces because it's bringing spirit to matter. And that's yoga, just integrating mind, body, spirit. That's Virgo and Pisces. It's perfect. So, great time to get back into an exercise routine because, you know, we've been busy all summer. Who's going to the gym or to the studio? Nobody, typically. Sorry, yoga studios. I'm not trying to make you guys not have business. But it's like these are the things that we would do. Start doing some of these things. What are you giggling at?
I'm giggling because about a week ago, Jeff announced to me, or I say announced, but he was just like, I really want us to start getting a serious yoga practice going again. But he's talking about, but we might not be able to really get it going till the fall, but I want us to start to move in that direction and maybe start doing yoga videos at home and then kind of get into it. By fall, he said to me, I want to work our yoga practice. I want us to go out to yoga classes, like work it into our schedule. Yeah. So I'm just laughing.
That's cute.
Because
perfect timing.
That's it. I always think of yoga when I see Virgo because it's so strong. Because Virgo is so body focused, and like we started off, you know, body focused and oriented on the physical being and physical health. One of the things that it's in charge of is assimilation. So we can either assimilate information. If we have too much, then we get too caught up in the detail. That's where the analytical piece of Virgo comes from. And, people have other words for that too, really derogatory words, how they're just too focused on the details. But when we have the full moon in Pisces, there is no details. Pisces knows no boundaries. And so it's about letting go of the details. It's okay to gather the information, but then just let it be. And so we can do this in our health and our wellness, our work, our spiritual practices. This is what we need to do with that full moon, Pisces, letting go of details.
Isn't it now, because we have the Neptunian influence here going on, and and so this is definitely a synergetic
Yes.
connection.
Yes.
Because in this case, 1 + 1 is probably going to equal 5.
It could.
Because of the position and the moon and the Pisces and the Neptune and
I
all
know,
of this
so
stuff working
much.
together, that it's really going to pop it up. It may be a time also where we push past and get clarity about some things, about illusions.
Oh, I don't know if we'll be able to push past them. We might get glimpses once in a while.
Yeah.
Neptune is pretty strong. The Neptune effect is strong, and we're going to have that for a long time. So even though we are pushing, we are having breakthroughs. Okay, I'll give it to you. We have some breakthroughs somewhere. See, you influenced me.
Yeah, there's going to be this.
It can be that, but I mean, the illusion is so strong that many people are not conscious enough to push through it.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm really coming from.
Yeah.
Because the typical person it's so subtle that they won't see it. But if you're somebody who's conscious of your spirituality, conscious of your soul, conscious that, meditation and staying centered is important to you, and all that energetic stuff, whatever we do that's energetic, even prayer and religion, not religion, but prayer, the faith of prayer, things like that. All of those things are important, but there's many people that don't follow any of those things. If you follow them, you can step with it. If you don't, then it might just be too subtle and you'll never notice. Like a butterfly landing on your shoulder, you won't even know it's there.
Yeah, but you'll get, even in the darkest of night, it doesn't take much light for it to glimmer.
Yeah.
And in that glimmer, you'll find that there'll be a resurgence of hope.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
I got the glimmer. The end of the tunnel may still seem far away, but I saw that speck of light that tells me it's not too far away.
Yeah.
And this could very much happen during this window of this time.
Yeah. I do a lot of camping and without electricity and just a little, I don't use open flames inside my tent anymore, but just one of those tiny little battery operated fake little votive candles is enough light. If it's been dark for a few hours, you turn that on, you can see anything you need to. So, yeah.
And you draw to you every mountain lion, bear.
Just Vikings. Just Vikings. I'm good with them. They're my people. Yes. Okay. Anyways, all right.
Moving right along.
Moving along. So the
Any
last
Vikings looking for a date? Oh, go ahead.
I know a lot of Vikings. The last piece I want to talk about today is the new moon that we have at 28 degrees of Virgo. So to have a new moon this late in the zodiac sign is interesting, because new moons are about setting new goals and starting new intentions and things such as that. It's on September 18th and 19th. It just depends on where you live. And it's on the 19th here on the East Coast of the United States. So because it's so late, the moon has had to catch up with everything everybody else has been doing, right? So the last 2 days it has been in Virgo, catching up with what the sun did from 0 to 28 degrees, what Mercury's been doing, what Mars has been doing, and all of that. So we need to ask ourselves, all right, what's been going on over the last month? What do I need to focus on now? Because between the full moon and this new moon that's so late, a lot of stuff has just been going on. There's no focus as to what we want to set our goals to, because we usually set goals. It is when it is, but when it's this late, all the Virgo energy is almost used up, right? Because we've lived through most of it. So what do we want to do when the moon is in Virgo? So again, we need to pay attention to the details, set goals through the observation of what has been going on over the last month while the sun is in Virgo, and then set goals relating to that, to better health, a new daily routine, what's going on at work. Maybe I don't like my job, I need to change my job, all of these different things. So we have a lot to catch up with the moon so late in the degrees.
Can you be using this late full moon energy because it's in Virgo to actually sit down and not only look at everything that's happened and everything that's gone through, but also be able to take it as a way to create a better, stronger foundation, more detailed plan of how to move forward as well? Because it still has the Virgo underpinning.
It does, and we still have opportunities. So, because it still is a new moon, it's just only a new moon for a day or two. And so this is when we're trying to get back into patterns and habits. Again, it's in the middle of September, so we got to get back into, if we're in school, back into the routine of doing homework, studying, things like that. So even if you're not in school age or learning anything, this is actually a really good opportunity to pick up something. Start studying something new, something that piqued your interest when you were looking around in the Leo time of the month, of the year.
Well, you know what that means for us?
We should be busy teaching,
Well,
and training, and helping.
Well, one of the things that I was thinking of is the 18th, the 19th, the 20th, the 19th, 18th, 19th around here is, at that point, we're 11 days out from our expo.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
So that's the time when we're probably are going to have to put the final nails in the foundation. I mean, well, everything will be so moved forward at that point. But I look at that and go, that's the full moon when we go, yep, all the cutoffs have been reached.
Yeah.
Now everything has to go into implementation.
Right. So that'd be the full moon in the beginning of the month, and the new moon, I misquoted, it's the 19th and the 20th on the East Coast. The new moon at the end of Virgo, this is the opportunity for you to just say, okay, now we have this is how everybody can use it. Now we have everybody's details. We know who's all coming to this event, all your vendors, readers, everything. And now you're spending the next 10 days organizing things. So if things have felt chaotic for the first half of September, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But if they've felt that way, this with the new moon is an opportunity for a renewed sense of organization and focusing on the details.
And remind me, when does Mercury go direct?
September
5th, was it, or something?
5th or 6th.
5th.
Oh, look, I got it right here. I got the September 5th,
Okay.
right
So-
before the full moon.
Yep. So that's our program cutoff date, goes to the printer on the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get it out.
Yeah.
So it's perfect timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So
It'll
that
work.
is the new moon. And then, so some of the things that are important too is being grounded, staying grounded, looking at what that means to you, and treating your body really well and where you haven't so far. So throughout, at least through the summer. We always have a lot of fun in the summer, and we kind of let all those patterns and all those good things kind of fall to the wayside.
Oh, we have habits and patterns in the summer. They're all the bad ones.
They are all the bad ones. Yeah. Yeah, they are. Oh, I missed this one. I missed this piece. I'll back up just a little. So do that with that new moon. It's really important. September 9th, we have a little bit of it looks like a difficult day, just in some ways, because Mercury finally moves back into Virgo. So that's a hooray. So it's at 0 Virgo. So Mercury is, again, going to be hyper-focused on the details. And then maybe counteracting a little bit of that Pisces moon, so it helps us to be a little more grounded. Pisces moon, again, is going to send us through the roof back in September 6th. But Venus is in a really hard aspect with Pluto. And this is about relationship concerns. And so, again, with Mercury in its own sign at 0 and Venus making a hard aspect to Pluto, people who are in relationships, give your partner, your spouse, a break. Give yourself a break. If you got something going on that you're really having a hard time talking through, take a day off. Don't do it on September 9th. It's just one of those days where it's edgy. It feels like an edgy day. And no matter what we say, it might not come out right. So we're having a really difficult time with it. And with the Mercury where it is and the moon in the sign it's in, Venus and Pluto, this creates uncomfortable conversations. This is where if you're having a conversation, you need to repeat back what you heard and constantly.
I wonder if there's going to be a 9/11 trigger.
Well, this is 9/9, but I don't know.
Well, you're talking about that energy of the Pisces full moon.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the Neptunian energy.
Yep.
It's all leading up into a 9/11, which starts getting, unfortunately, I hate to say it this way, but this is the way it is, starts getting promoted right after Labor Day.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. I don't know what made me pop in my head.
Yeah.
Maybe when we look at this episode, if I go back and look at this episode afterwards, after 9/11 has come and gone, but I just went, okay, hard, emotional, Pisces, Neptune, things coming to the surface, things getting exposed, all of this stuff, and then it's coming up on that 9/11 anniversary.
It's a toughie, and other aspects on that day are pretty tough too, but I just couldn't cover everything in this report. But the moon conjuncts Uranus on that day at 9 in the morning. And that is, it's highly energized emotions.
I think that there's going to
very self-focused, very pay attention to me. So there's a lot of strength behind that one.
I think that we're going to find that some new discovery comes out about 9/11. Something comes to the surface.
Conspiracy theories everywhere.
Yeah, I think something's going to pop up.
Yeah.
Something's going to pop up. So I've got a quick question for you, because then we'll be winding down. So with all of this going on, I'm going to let Miss Virgonian dressed school teacher use this as a quick teaching moment. So my Virgo is on the midheaven. So my Virgo is right up here.
Yes.
With this going on, what does that mean?
That means the height of your career for the year, since this is a yearly occurrence, when the sun moves into the midheaven, it's called. So with all of the Virgo energy going on up there, that means this is when every year is an opportunity for you to peak. Doesn't mean you can't have heightened moments throughout the year. It's just when the sun's above the horizon, as it is, moving this time of year for you, it is about putting you up more on stage, more out in public, more visible. And the details are important since Virgo is there. So focusing on the details. You tend to fly by the seat of your pants in most cases. But this time of year, it's just a natural occurrence to focus on the details a little bit more.
Okay, interesting. Right? I just wanted to throw that out there because as people take bits and pieces, you know, I know my chart. I don't know her chart, but I can always throw you an example of you have a midheaven, guys. The midheaven is, I've always heard the midheaven, define a midheaven.
The midheaven, which is the peak of the chart, the height of the chart, it's the career, it's the height of our public view, how people see us in the public view. So what our social status is, and that is a thing still, yes, where we are in society and how we present ourselves that way. So, you know, am I married? Am I divorced? Am I a widow? We have to still answer those questions on forms. That's our social status. Mainly, though, it's how people see you in the public eye. And that is mainly it. But it's straight across the chart from home and family. So whatever goes on, again, it's like the web. If something goes on in one sector, it's happening in the other sector straight across the chart. And then there's other things. But there's that. So if something is coming to your midheaven and you're focusing heavy on the career or how your peers see you, things such as that, you might be spending too much time doing that and you're missing out at home and you're not spending enough time at home, or vice versa. So
with that, we're going to wrap up. We want to thank you for joining us for this time of Virgo. One of the things today that we heard about was that we have many faces. The face we show ourselves, the face we show our home life, our loved ones, the way that the world individually sees us, and the way the world collectively sees us. Astrology gives you more information with which to make better decisions. And you would not want that. Why? Namaste.